Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play SimCity. And I just noticed that our water supply is yellow, which is fine. We're currently at 0. I think it means that we're importing. I don't like the color coding though. Can we go ahead and expand out this way? Yes, we can. Okay, so I mean, it's not so bad if we're importing from the region, but we're talking about maybe starting a new region, I think very soon, again, to just basically fuel a regional airport. And if we're doing that, then we want to make sure that we've got a lot of water available in the entire area. I do want to address one question that a lot of people asked, and that is, what the heck? The airship hangar. So I've grabbed the airship DLC, not because I necessarily think that it's a worthwhile DLC, not necessarily because I think it's, you know, well priced or anything like that, but a lot of people want to see how it works and what it's like, and what the hell, we'll give it a little bit of play. And now there's two things. One that's kind of funny about it is that it's sort of possibly is a workaround to the traffic problems, which is like, hey, great, you know, if you want this solution to traffic, I guess that's good, although it also means that, like, I don't know, EA is kind of holding your traffic hostage unless you buy this DLC. And I don't know, you know, there's a lot of negative spin about the DLC, that, you know, the price, this, that. I'm going to try not to get into it too much because, you know, plenty of other people, this is the internet, right? There's plenty of people on the internet who are more than happy to whine and argue about all the things. And, well, that's a new feature. We've got a blimp that is filming a landmark. Well, that is pretty cool. I will have to admit that's kind of neat. $10 neat? I don't know, but, oh, I know, I said I wasn't going to complain. Moving on. So let's go ahead and build the airship hangar. It's actually not terribly expensive, and it does add an extra way for people to get in and out of our city. So we're going to try to keep it in this sort of general touristy area, or maybe down here also would be an excellent pick, actually. Very good pick. One thing I'm not sure about is this little corner. I don't remember exactly what my thought was. I guess, oh, I could sort of tuck something in there, but you don't really need that street at all. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and bulldoze that. And then, despite the fact that these have... Oh, I didn't mean to bulldoze them, I didn't mean to look at it. I was probably going to bulldoze them both, but I wanted to check. I was like, oh, it's a bank, we can, you know, overwrite that, no problem. But yeah, so I'm going to drop... it's a little bit space intensive. We can still mostly build around it, and I think this is going to be fine. I guess there's the risk that this particular side road is going to become a little over-congested, because we'll have the train station and the bus terminal, and I guess that... You know, that is true. So maybe I want the airship somewhere else. You know, it actually makes sense to have it on an elevated ridge, but the problem is there's not a lot of place to work with over here. Although, how big was that? Yeah, no, there's no way to fit it in over there. And I don't think I want it in this part of the city, so I think I am indeed going to add it right over here. So, there we have it. So you're going to be able to land in the city and then visit the Arc de Triomphe. Now, by itself, it, I think, just does traffic in and out of the city. Ooh, look at it open up. Wow. Kind of neat. So, resident riders, tourist riders. But if we go into the editor, we can add commuter airship moorings. And this allows workers within my city. No, that's the commuter one. I'm confused. Does this... I'm pretty sure we need... more stuff. We need another building to actually make this work so that you can sort of bypass traffic. Oh, okay, yeah, I can build it everywhere. Okay, good. That's what I was thinking. So you only need the one hangar. But then once you've got the one hangar, then you can build these little mooring stations. And so these act kind of like air subways, right? So we still don't have subways, but we can put a few of these connections throughout the city, and that will allow people to go from one area to another via airship as opposed to driving. And that is certainly very interesting. But I'm not sure, like, my local traffic is actually in pretty good shape, so I don't think that this city is actually a really good candidate for this sort of thing. There are certainly other cities that would be much, much better candidates. In fact, if you think back to my original city, Los Brussels, and its traffic problems, man, oh man, could it use the blimp thing. So for now, I've just put that down as sort of a curiosity, and we're gonna go and visit my other towns in this region, and then we're going to talk about probably starting that new city that is just going to be sort of a boring industrial city, although it's kind of interesting if I still think to just look at the pure industrial setup and what's required to get that going. Although it, you know, the one big issue of it is it does take up a lot of space and kind of preclude a lot of opportunity to build other things, but that's okay. So I think we've got 2 plots left. That's going to be that, and then the other one we might try a high-capacity city. It's going to depend on how much space is available. So this is the one that had all the things, and this one has, well, still a good amount of things, actually. It's kind of shocking. And actually doesn't have a whole lot of room to necessarily build because thanks to this hill. Although, I don't know, we can still cram a whole lot of people in it, so it's going to be fine. But I was thinking over here, because we mostly want oil, and this has got a higher capacity thing, so we're probably going to pick that up very shortly. But first, I promised we would take a little bit of a tour around here. Apparently these guys need some water. We'll see if that's true or not. Probably it just means that they're buying things from the region. But still, again, if we're going to be expanding to some new cities, we want to make sure that our region has a lot of extra water kind of available for all the cities. Come on, how long does it take to load a city? I just haven't loaded this one for a while, so I don't know if it's, you know, if it has to be reread from the server or whatnot, or how it works. Okay. I mean, I have to say, this city is very lovely. And I can't believe, look at how many buildings there are, how many tall buildings there are, and our population is 17,000. This looks like it should be a much, much bigger city than our theme park city, and yet it has considerably fewer population, which is kind of funny. I think I spot some abandoned buildings here. You there, buddy, give me your own pop-up. I don't know why they have that delay. Oh, should we get rid of that? Like, give me this little menu, please. Clean some of these up. What are being... Oops, that one was already gone. Okay. I was curious as to why they're being abandoned, but I guess we'll never know. It's a great mystery. I do think that, like, I probably went a little heavy with the avenues. Again, you know, part of the idea was, oh, future-proof it in this. But, you know, this was never going to be a high-density city, so I'm not sure that it needed all these avenues in the first place. I think we would have been fine traffic-wise. And it actually would have given us a little bit more room to work with because, you know, regular streets are certainly more narrow. But other than that, things are okay. Should we build a airship place in here? Their maintenance is actually not that bad, so we could really easily fit one in. And we do have a tourist industry, right? So, like, if I flip over to here and then go here, it should highlight. So we got a couple places there, and they're a little bit further away from the airport. So what if we did drop an airship place in here? You know, we don't have that much space to work with because our design was intentionally made to have a lot of, like, blank white space. I wonder if there's extra traffic going through this main road because people are going from this city to Habsburg, from Orlando to Habsburg, or vice versa. That is very interesting. I wonder if the game actually does that, in which case that is going to be a ridiculously busy road. What are you whining about? We have a garbage situation. Recycle. Yeah, well, we'll consider it. It does remind me, though, that we want... What are you complaining about? Worker shortage. Yeah. I want to check the water situation. And yes, indeed, we do not have a water production. We don't have any surplus. It looks like we've only got one water tower at all working here, which I think we could probably afford to put in something else. And the only question is whether we want to fit in an actual water treatment plant at all. I find that it might ruin the look of our city, right? So I'd like to maybe put in a couple of water towers instead. I know it's like it's not as efficient and whatever, but damn it, this is our pretty town. It's got to continue to look pretty. So we've got a few wet spots kicking around, so we can put that there. I think we're still going to be importing even with that working. What's our total usage? Oh yeah, we need 91k, and these will not add a whole lot to it. So you know what? We're not going to be able to solve the problem with water towers. I mean, they look nice and all, and they will reduce the amount that we have to import, but this place will always be importing that stuff. It doesn't import power though, because it does have the solar plant, which is awfully cool. Hey, we have the university there. We started that research project. Oh my god, it takes forever. I assume this research project must only work in real time while you're in this city. Clearly regional play, or I suspect regional play does not advance this. Maybe it does and it's just going insanely slowly. I'm considering, like, should I just, like, let this run overnight with this city loaded, just so that this project will finish, so that I have access to it in a region? Because concentrated solar array is amazingly good, but I don't want to wait this long. I'm impatient. Watch this. I let it run overnight. I come back, the whole city's burned down. Well, that could be fun too, right? I suppose I could do a time lapse, but like there wouldn't be a time lapse of anything. It would just like one viewpoint, as probably nothing happens at all. Just to appease some people. There's the poop. All right? Also flowing out of town. Of course, we're not going to have a sewage treatment plant in here at all. Crime is potentially a problem. The crimes committed per day is actually not too bad. French police station is here. It is not full of prisoners. So we might actually be okay. But of course, what do you have to say about it? Are you a Dr. Vu thing? No. We've already got a Dr. Vu. We don't need any more. Okay, garbage trucks, yada, yada, yada. Alright. So, I don't think I actually want to do much here, but there's still the question of building this airship hangar, right? And it is huge! It is gargantuan. Is it worthwhile? I don't know. Could put it a little bit out of the way at least. Although that sort of defeats the purpose for the touristy kind of aspect of it. I think I'm going to do it. I mean, I can always take it down later. The city is hugely, hugely productive. There's quite the wait time for... Is that in general? Oh, that's the plane wait time. Really? Why so many wait times over there? And you know what? This place is wealthy enough that we are definitely going to add a commuter mooring over in a couple places. Just because it's like, well, this is the town that would have it, right? Oh, damn, it's really long. We can fit it in right here. So that way the people who get off the boat can potentially take one of those. Limit reached. Why limit reached? Do you... What? I'm sure that's at 0.4. I wonder what you have to do to unlock more. I have not played much with the airship, so it's still a little bit new to me, but I guess we'll just have to put up with it the way it is. If people get off the boat and they want to come to this tourist area over here, Stockholm City Hall, then they may want to take the airship to do it. So we've got some computers going in. That's great. We'll let the city run here for another tick or two just to make sure that everything registers properly. See SimCity by airship. Welcome the first airship to your city. Cool. More achievements. What did I want to say? Oh, the other mass transit situation. So, right, we have some bus stops everywhere. Well, not everywhere, actually. I was going to say decreasing lot value. But, you know, in some of our higher wealth areas, we don't have that. What are you complaining about? We've got injury here. How's the health situation? 1 death per day. Well, this is the town that there shouldn't be any deaths at all. On the other hand, there's only so much you can do about them, to be honest. Sometimes there will just be a death no matter what, because people will fail to get places in an appropriate amount of time. Fire situation should be awesome here. Everyone here should be relatively educated, wealthy, not much industry. We do have some industry, but it's high-tech. Skynet mechanical, see? Nothing bad ever happens from a Skynet place. Not enough room to increase density, so they would actually like to increase density, they just don't have the opportunity to do so. So, yeah, my industry is obviously going pretty well in Germany. Yeah, if we had a proper hospital, I guess we'd be able to get rid of that, but we don't have the population base to really justify it. We do have enough money to justify it, but not the population. What do you want? Fireworks show. No. Listen, we're making money hand over fist. We don't need to risk burning down half the city for 50K. I mean, I like money and all, but come on. Enough is enough, right? So yeah, things are building. Population is relatively stable, actually. But it's a happy population, and it's a population that is more than happy to pay its taxes. So, okay, I'm satisfied with sort of our look here. Oh, continuing to get upgrades, that's great. We are going to pop out over to Havsnotberg and have a look there. Now, Havsnotberg is actually the city that's probably the most likely to benefit from having airships to bypass traffic. And it's also the city where it would seem least appropriate. I don't know, just the airship thing seems like such a posh thing, right? If we could build subways, then we would build subways in Havsnotberg. Not because subways are like low class or anything. It wouldn't be jarring. Subways are awesome, and I have been to some cities with some fancy ass metros. Like some places have really, really nice and clean and excellent ones. Toronto is not one of them. Well, it depends, but no, the Toronto subways are actually pretty old, it feels like, so they don't feel great. Brussels, as I recall, had like really nice sort of high-techy, plasticky looking subway stations. and they sucked and were miserable and stupid for all kinds of other reasons. It was like one of these is like, oh, we have some money, we're going to put in something relatively modernized, but we won't actually put any thought into it whatsoever. What? What? What are you doing? Okay, move. God damn it. I suppose we could probably improve the situation there, actually, by making this a high density avenue. Because then there would be the extra lane to make a proper corner. And I know this road is not connected. That's actually by design to try to cut back on some of the traffic right there. There's still some issues there, but maybe once that blockade is done, it will clear up and start to act a little bit more intelligently. So I don't think I want to do much here. I just sort of want to run it to make sure that all the latest sort of changes have clicked in. We're producing lots of power, lots of water. We've got lots of sewage capacity, which is great because we're probably going to be accepting poop from more and more places. In fact, we could actually do with more power generation. It's just wonky because I think we don't actually dig any coal in this town. I think we potentially could. We just don't do it. So we actually have to pay to produce power. On the other hand, we have Orlando there that actually has coal natively, so that might actually become the big power producer in the region. So I think I'm relatively happy again here with how things are. Do we have an expo center here? Way in the back. Oh, this was actually some more traffic tests that I was doing, wasn't it? Because I was like, let's put this as far back. In fact, now that I think about it, I think it's possible the city was originally designed to test the new traffic changes with the expo center after, you know, a couple of the traffic patches went through. Because I was like, all right, so it's as far away as possible from the highway. It's going to be loaded with population, which is also why it's so boring. On the other hand, it looks like a legit city, you know? These roads, this is what cities look like. At least, I don't know, certain North American cities, I suppose. Definitely. And yeah, and that was put in there to test because I could run an event and then see how badly the traffic got clogged. And it actually doesn't do too badly. Register an event going on there. Do we have to put a sign up? Come on, get a sign. What's going on? Come on, there we go. I like the expo center too. Looks, you know, it looks legit. Looks like places sports teams will go. All right, so yeah, again, I'm actually, you know, quite pleased with the city. But again, there's not that much to do. I could sit here and sort of fiddle-faddle with the different roads and try to get higher density, which I have done to a certain extent to try to cut down traffic. Like, I don't need all these little cross streets like this. There's absolutely no reason to have them there. So you can bulldoze these like that and actually potentially jam in a little bit more stuff, for example. Right, so you can do that. So it was just trying out different traffic patterns at the time, but there's a difference between kind of trying to make your city more optimal for various things and also just kind of liking the look of it. These road intersections are not optimal because too many intersections are bad for traffic, and it means less place for your buildings. But I like the way it looks, so there. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our new spot over here, River Bend. And again, I'm going to ask you guys to suggest names for the city, which is going to be just an industrial center, right? Like Orlando is kind of wonky because we're trying to fund the amusement park using the coal industry, which has worked out very well for us. At this point, the tourism may be self-sufficient, so maybe we can take all that stuff down at this point. But the point is the coal and stuff wasn't the main point of that. On the other hand, this city here is going to be all about the nasty stuff. It's all about trying to take as many things out of the ground as possible. We will leave Riverbend a hole. It will be a crater when we are done with it. It doesn't actually work that way, but there you have it. And it would be nice if these cities sort of played, what am I looking for? Like asymmetrically, like they continued to play while you weren't. This is a lovely site, though. Oh, it's going to be really sad to butcher it. Just out of curiosity, where's the goods? If this little nook over here turns out to not have anything, it does have oil, and we want oil. So that's unfortunate, because I was going to say, if it doesn't actually have anything there, we might be able to build a residential area there. It would be awfully nice. How does the wind generally blow? And the wind does shift, but okay, it's going to generally blow that way. So we want all of our population stuff to be over here. Wow, there's no good... yeah, if we're going to do any sort of industrial stuff in this city, the population base is going to be screwed in general, no matter what. I suppose the best we can do is it is still line them up here. It should be okay. So we'll do that. The only question is, are we going to use an avenue or a road for this? And I think we're just going to use a road. We'll go right ahead and build a medium density. Now, this line here, let's do a quick little schmutz here and take a look at so it's fine there, but I think over here we're actually, let me switch to the dirt road just because it's a little cheaper to produce. Because I'm pretty sure we're not going to keep it here because, yeah, there's not, oh wait, that's right, I can't do that. I forgot it doesn't show you the big city size unless you go, yeah, low density doesn't work. Right, because it's limited to low density. So medium density, so we are spending a fair amount of money, but that's okay. I can shift a bunch of money over from my other zone. Just trying to spot, yeah, it's going to have enough money to hit those sort of medium density buildings, but not the really high density buildings. So I don't like this spot. I'm not sure what to do with it. Well, although it will be a perfect place for that train station later on. Maybe it'll be okay, and we'll also be building stuff on the other side. You know what? Let's say it's fine enough. So some of the buildings are going to be kind of limited, but we'll use more sort of maybe we'll put our municipal buildings over here, police stations, fire stations, that sort of thing, and we'll just try to fit them in. So yeah, that's going to be okay. So let's create fair amount of housing, some more housing, and you're going to say, why am I leaving gaps in there? The reason I'm leaving gaps is because that's where I want to put the commercials so that these people have somewhere to shop. And again, I'm going to try not to build on the actual main avenue, just to try to keep the traffic low there. So that's good. Now, hopefully the region is properly updated. Thank you very much, so that we can just say that we want to buy power and sewage from everywhere, so we won't have to worry about that for quite some time. So this city's actually going to start, yeah, it's going to start growing and expanding, and it's going to be fine. I'm not going to have to worry about the fact that the rail is cutting off some of my highest density building population for quite some time. There's a risk of having a lot of traffic on this road. On the other hand, at this point, there's no intersection, so the traffic's going to flow pretty okay up until this point. But again, there should be pretty good flow through. So, yeah, I could have built it an avenue, but I think I'm going to be okay and perfectly happy with just this. So we are going to need a lot more money, though, and loans can only take us so far when we want to build a big industry. So what I'm going to do is flip out to region view. I'm going to transfer some money and make sure. I think what happened last time is I didn't wait long enough in my different towns for the money to actually finish transferring or to leave this town. So what I'm going to do off camera now is I'm going to send the money and wait for it all to go through. And in the next episode, we will be back in our new town, currently called Riverbend, but again, please suggest names for the industrial town. And we will be back there with a fair amount of money to really kind of kickstart an industry. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.